Hey guys, good morning. Just let some folks file in, getting this shared up over on my personal page, and we'll get up and running today um, with the latest analysis. So, good morning, Callahan. How are you? Good to hear from you. Everything's going well for you. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, I'm going to share a screen here with y'all. Let's see. We want to go. Where is my other screen right here? We want to share that one. There we go. Okay. Again, guys, we'll just let a few folks file in here. Again, good morning to everyone. Thanks for joining. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you all are doing well. Okay. Oh, yeah. Hey, thank you, Jeff. We appreciate your support. Absolutely. Been a grind here the last 4 or 5 days. We were just looking back at some of the initial forecast thoughts that we put out. And they've been great. It's been a great forecast overall. 4 days ago, based on where this thing may make landfall, we might only be 20 miles off from the original thought process of where to go. So you gotta love comments from someone like Robbie Gong. Millions evacuated for nothing. Guy clearly have no clue what you're talking about. The storm surge is going to be to the likes of which you've never seen before across the west coast of Florida. Just because the eye is not coming to your location does not mean that you're not going to get absolutely pummeled by storm surge, hurricane force winds, flash flooding rains. The thought process of just because it's not coming to you means it's not going to impact you is very, very poor train of thought in this particular situation. Okay. So just something to keep in mind in that aspect. Someone else said, is there technology to create and move and shift a hurricane's path? Absolutely not. If you believe that, you don't really understand just the sheer overall energy and everything that goes into these things. It's just not something you can change. If you could change it, I think a lot of people by now would be spending money figuring out how to have it not hit us. So it's just not a thing. So this is, yeah. Can it cut across Florida and reform? Yes, it can. It will. That's what it's going to do. So we're going to talk about that. All right. We're going to talk about this. Is the latest satellite imagery. I'm going to get my face off here, and you can see the loop this morning. There's some indications, or at least attempts or hints at an Eyewall replacement cycle trying to happen again. What that might indicate, some early indications, what that might suggest is that if it can successfully complete one, it may come out on the other side quite a bit more intense in terms of, more expansive in coverage, a bigger storm. The interesting part is now the Hurricane Center is keeping this a Category 4 at landfall as it comes onto land, which is something we've maintained here for the last several days. But there's definitely an Eyewall replacement cycle, I think, trying to happen, which is why the eye looks a bit disorganized or not cleaned out, if you will. Now, convection is starting to form again. It is starting to try and clear out there on the end. The convection around the eye looks to be happening. So we'll watch that. It just makes it just makes it more to deal with. Okay, more to deal with. More wind, more storm surge, more rain. It just makes the storm bigger. Okay, so that's the unfortunate side of this. It's the indication of where that Eyewall replacement cycle may have tried to be happening here. We can kind of see that in the flight level winds where we have these little notches here trying to indicate some of that going on. Okay, this is the current landfall idea. Okay, this is the current forecast. Again, we put on there, hey, 80 miles spread from north to south. Last night, if you watched us, we were on for quite a while, and we had the landfall, taken out of St. Pete or out of the Tampa Bay area. And so that's the thought process right now. Is still, we don't think the actual eye goes into St. Petersburg, into the Tampa Bay region. Um, but nonetheless, it's still going to be a bad storm. It's still going to present a catastrophic historic levels of storm surge and flooding as well. Could this thing go as far south down there on the bottom end of that cone? You bet, it absolutely could. In fact, if we look at some satellite data and we kind of extrapolate some of the satellite data, in terms of where it could go, I want to show you something here. This is a look here at some pressure trajectory tracks. That's tough to say. Pressure trajectory tracks. That's a difficult one, but that would try to put it in just around or south of Sarasota. Okay. Yeah. Between Venice Beach and Sarasota, if we were to extrapolate pressure, and it would tell us where this would want to go, that would be the idea of where it might make landfall, just to kind of give you an idea of where the lowest pressure center may creep into, if you will. So interesting way to look at that for sure. But get back to the idea here on landfall, and then I want to go and update you on a couple of other things. This is a look here at the winds. All right, this is our Hurricane Milton max winds, and on the southern end of Tampa Bay, Bradenton, Sarasota, Venice Beach, down to near the Port Charlotte area, 90 to 120 plus mile per hour winds. I think there will be wind gusts well over 130 as at the time that this makes landfall. That there will absolutely be a big storm surge activity in Bradenton for sure. There's no question about it. Probably 10 to 15 feet. That's also in another image here that I want to share with you. In fact, it's right here. It's a 9 to 15 foot plus storm surge. Okay. And a lot of you are saying that the storm has appeared to wobble. Yeah, when storms are this strong, then yes, they can wobble back and forth. Absolutely. It looks like we lost the screen share here. Let me turn that off real quick. Turn that back on. Sometimes it likes to do that on us. Let's go back to here we go. Yeah, this is the, again, I want you to think about Helene. I want you to think about how much storm surge, came from Helene. We looked at 6, 8, 9 feet in spots across the West Coast. It will be in spots double that potentially for the storm surge. So something to keep in mind. Just because the eye doesn't go into where you're at does not mean this is not going to be an absolutely nasty storm for you. If you haven't watched since yesterday, yes, we have had some ticks south about 25 miles. The official forecast is about 25 miles south. The Hurricane Center and our forecast right now are pretty lined up. The Hurricane Center's latest forecast here, we can go to their interactive map, and I can get you a good look at where the eye wants to go. Again, we're pretty much on the same page at this point in time. We'll turn the track on and turn this stuff off, but you can see where they're putting it. They're still a little north of Sarasota, again, with that cone down to Port Charlotte. Just keep in mind, anything's at play in here. I truly believe if Sarasota to Venice Beach to Port Charlotte, you are in play for that. All right. Which means, listen, just a little bit south right here. This is Naples, right? Fort Myers Beach, Cape Coral, Bonita Springs. You're looking at 10 to 15 foot storm surge. All right. You can see the peak surge here, or 8 to 12 feet peak surge on the latest hurricane products, all the way down to Bonita Beach. Okay. Actually, this is an updated graphic. This is actually helpful. This actually makes sense. It's got the Tampa Bay storm surge down about 3 feet. All right. So you're at 8 to 12 foot storm surge here in Tampa Bay. Okay. Um, then you've got 10 to 15 feet from Bradenton down to Boca Grande. Okay. Into that Port Charlotte area. All right. And then you go Fort Myers Beach, Bonita Beach, 8 to 12 feet. And then Naples South, you're 5 to 8 feet. Still a 3 to 5 foot storm surge all the way down there in southwestern Florida. Guys, even I just want to make sure I understand, even a 5 to 8 foot storm surge is just catastrophic. It's just horrible. I mean, the 6 foot storm surge in Clearwater Beach it absolutely is horrible. Just wiped out. It had businesses on the beach, clothing shops, restaurants, you name it. They had 6 feet of water in them. Okay, and that was at 6 feet. So that's something to keep in mind is that um, you know this is going to be a lot more than that, and the hurricane didn't even come um, that close, nearly as close to Tampa Bay, Sarasota, Bradenton area as this one's going to. Helene didn't. All right, so and these are just things to keep in mind here. We'll look at the rainfall potential graphic right now. You can see that right through the Tampa Bay area. Now, again, you've got to factor in rainfall here because it is going to be incredibly, incredibly heavy rain. You can see through the Tampa Bay area, that is 12 to 16 to possibly 16 inches plus of rain. All right. That is not good. That's going to add to this. Sorry. Yeah. Anyways, I'll tell you, I with the rainfall forecast, it's with how much rain they've gotten added with the added storm surge. Um, it's just not going to be good. You've got to think about the winds that are going to go over Central Florida as well as this goes on to land. Yeah, Callahan says very worried for Longboat Key. Yeah, absolutely. I am for sure. I want to give you a zoomed in view here of what the winds look like that they're going to do as they come in over land. The storm surge probably starts to pick up by about 3 to 5 o'clock today. Okay, so hey, this is a great comment. Look at this. These are the types of people we love. We've been live for several days now, presenting information to you for free. And you get someone on here that comments, this guy talks and says absolutely nothing. Good God. Sue, why don't you do yourself a favor and just go get lost? How about that? How about you just get off the stream and go find something else to do? Okay. Get a life. Give me a freaking break. You got people all up and down the coast looking at some of the possibly the worst day of their lives coming up tonight into tomorrow. And this is the type of comment you want to say on Facebook as we're trying to give you information for a storm. Why don't you go do something better for yourself? All right. Let's time out the winds. I'll tell you how much wind you're going to get when you're going to get it, even though I don't really talk. I talk and I don't really say anything. So my apologies. No, Brian, I do feed the trolls. That's what I do. I don't know if you've been watching this the last 13 years, but that's exactly what I do when I get on here. I don't deal with people. I don't like people that act that way. So that's what we do here. If you don't like it, go find a different stream. All right. The problem with today's world is, what do? We allow people to talk this way. We don't say anything to them. We're like, oh, we should avoid them. We shouldn't give them the energy. No. You absolutely should give them the energy. You should let them know that they're an idiot. That's a stupid comment to make. Okay. So it's like that old song goes, if you're going to be dumb, you got to be tough, because I'm going to call you out and I'm going to have fun doing it. So again, we're going to talk about the winds coming in. We're going to go as soon as this makes landfall. You can see right here in Sarasota, all right, Bradenton area. And again, this could be a little north, possibly. It could be a little north. But here's the thing. regardless, wherever that eye comes in, 10, 15-mile swing, okay, we're looking at wind gusts of north of 130 miles per hour. Okay, north of 130 miles per hour, right around midnight to 2 a.m. tonight, right here on the west coast of Florida, from again Bradenton down to Venice Beach. You can see where it comes in. You're already experiencing wind gusts well over 55 miles per hour into central Florida. Okay, you're already seeing, and this is the thing, as the hurricane moves in over land, you're not going to get it to come off of hurricane force winds. Okay, it's just not going to happen. Um, there's not going to be any way for it to weaken, where it's not going to bring hurricane force winds over central Florida. Watch this. This is remarkable. Look at these winds coming in. Okay, all the way across central Florida. Now you're talking about wind gusts here right across the central portion of the state. We're talking about places like just south of Orlando, Kissimmee. All right. What do we got here? You've got Kissimmee, you've got Lakeland, you've got Melbourne, you've got Cape Canaveral, Tampa, Avon Park, right there through the central portion of the state. You're looking at wind gusts north of 100 miles per hour. All right. So that is certainly something to keep in mind, that these hurricane force winds are going to go across the central portion of the state. Okay. So that's something that we want to continue to keep in mind, is that yes, it may weaken from category 4, but we think it stays a category 1 hurricane over the central portion of Florida. All right. And I see a lot of your comments here by me addressing this Sioux character. Listen, if you are going to come on and bully or insult me, I'm just going to treat you the way you treat me. And if you think that violates some sort of code or moral code that you have or someone has, that's fine. That's unfortunate. But that's just not how we're going to run the deal here. So I'm going to treat people the way they should be treated, the way they treat others. That's just the golden rule in life, right? So that's how I do it. I don't care who likes it or doesn't like it. I'm not here for anyone's seal of approval. I can promise you that. If you're going to call me and do things to me and speak to me in a certain way, I'll speak to you in the same way. Okay. Now back to the process here across central Florida with all of this rain. What I want to make sure you understand is, with the rain, the wind, the storm surge, and everything, you're going to be looking at widespread power outages across the board. Okay. I would expect, 1 million or more people across Florida without power tonight, and through a large portion of the next several days. All right. So that's something you want to keep in mind. A big struggle for power and rainfall as well. This is a look here at just total rain. Again, that's a lot of rain into Tampa Bay, into Clearwater area. That's a 13 to 15 inch rainfall forecast. An absolutely unbelievable look at how much rain may be falling here across the north side of the low, the northwest side of the low. There's another element to this outside of just historic levels of flooding. Remember what all the flooding did from Helene. This is a lot of flooding. I mean, we're talking. I still don't think people quite understand how much rain this is. All right. The hurricane currently is still a category 5. We think it's making landfall as a category 4 hurricane right now. But there's another element to this, and it's the severe weather on the south and east side of the low pressure center. It's highly likely that you'll have severe weather. Even if you don't have hurricane force winds that far south, you're going to have severe wind gusts and tornadoes. All right. So that is certainly something to keep in mind. The entire state of Florida, for the most part, excluding the Panhandle, we'll be dealing with severe weather, hurricane force winds, flash flooding rains, unbelievable storm surge, and Someone just said, so it's been downgraded to a category 1. Absolutely not. It's currently a category 5 hurricane. I don't know where you might have gotten that from, but that is not it is not has not been downgraded at all. It'll make landfall as a category 4, and then as it's over actual land without water, we anticipate it to maintain category 1 hurricane strength, which that's tough to do, and that's the current thought process right now with that. So take a look at some more comments then. Oh, Sue told them it was going to be downgraded. Yeah, I said Cat 1 over Florida. You're right, Brandon. Over land, not as it makes landfall. Yeah, I want to pause real quick. Share the live for me. Tag a friend. Repost it. Follow the channels, so we keep you posted on the latest information. We appreciate you all watching and tuning in. I believe I saw Brian commented on the tide cycle a little earlier. You may have looked into the tide cycle. I have not looked into that. Brian, do you have? I believe you said we were coming on the upswing of the tide rising, perhaps. I do want to talk about something with a lot of comments about another storm. Okay, coming beyond this one. I want to address this because right now, just looking at a forecast model face value, not only does the atmosphere become a little bit less favorable over the next couple of weeks, we just don't see any additional hurricane formation or risks right now, at least until we get closer to late October. I'm going all the way out here. There is some storm activity or some tropical activity in the 6 to 10 day period that might go up the west coast of Florida and offer some rainfall. You can see here, this is the 18th and 19th of October, but let me slide it over. My apologies. You actually can't see it. It's Sue. I'm the guy that talks and says nothing, but you can see 18th, 19th, there's a disturbance there. No super well-defined areas of circulation, but I think, again, late month into early November that the tropical risks can certainly potentially come back. But in terms of looking at anything in the immediate future, I don't see anything. Let's see. High tide is around 7 a.m. in Tampa. Okay. Thank you, Brandon Perkins. Just getting caught up here. High tides are around 7 a.m. in Tampa. So the thought process would be that as the storm is moving in, the tides are also rising a little bit. So that is something to keep in mind. Is that that's going to work against us. The tide's not certainly going to be coming down in any way, shape, or form. So that is something to keep in mind, at least as of right now. I want to go back and get a look here at satellite and see. I'm going to do just a 24-hour scan here and see if we have any indication of the eye trying to clear out at all. Boy, you can definitely tell it is trying to replace its eye wall right now because that eye is sloppy. Candace, that's a good question. She says, how quickly can it drop from a category 4 to a category 1 upon landfall? And it will happen over the course of about 2 hours, probably an hour to 2 hours. The land interaction will certainly act to weaken the storm, but you will certainly get hit with, those high level or intense hurricane force winds here as it's making landfall at that category 4 level. But as it interacts with land, and you go from the 4, you'll quickly go down to that 3, 2, 1 category as the land starts to work against Milton, if you will. So the warm water is certainly fuel for the storm, and the water right off the west coast of Florida there is very warm. This is a good question. Lisa says, what does an eye wall replacement mean, and what is the significance? Well, what it means is it's reforming the eye wall, and it normally comes out bigger. That hole normally comes out a little bit bigger, if you will, and makes the storm, the hurricane bigger. Okay. So that's just a simple way of describing it. I'm going to check something real quick here. So I may be able to get a view Give me just a second, guys. It's close on composite reflectivity. It's not quite in the you can see the outer band. You can see the eye on radar, on composite radar. I'll show you the radar here on my other screen. Okay, so you can see down there to the south, this is our Clarity weather platform. This is our radar, updates every 2 minutes. It's a live MRMS look. You can see the circulation there. You can see again, it's there for sure, and there's some convection. Those bright colors around that eye wall indicating that it's still giving it a shot. I'm going to check out, get a local Doppler radar view here of it. I want to see it. Where do I have that? I have that pulled up somewhere, I thought. Oh, right in front of my freaking face. Open your eyes. Okay. Oh, I'm going to share that real quick. Okay, there's that. And you can kind of see what I'm talking about here. Okay, watch this on radar. It's evident on Doppler radar. Watch as the hole is smaller, and then as it starts to clear out there towards the end, that eye wall is trying to become bigger right there. You guys see that? Here's your outer bands, and you can kind of see the eye wall starting to get bigger there towards the end. That's the center right now on Doppler radar. And that convection there, those bright colors and the lightning, you see the lightning indications right there, right? Those are lightning strikes. That's an indication of this eye wall potentially trying to clear out and come back on the other side bigger. And the storm grow a little bit in size. Excuse me. Becca says, so a reforming eye wall can mean a worse hurricane. It can, but I will tell you again that we've had a Category 4 hurricane at landfall for several days. The National Hurricane Center now has a Category 4 at landfall. Could it be, a Category 5 at landfall? I don't think so. I don't think so. I certainly hope not. I mean, I'm watching the lightning pop up still on this. I obviously can't say for certain, but I don't think so. That's a tough one. It's tough to know if it what it can do. I'll turn it light here, so maybe kind of help you see it. But you can see the lightning strikes and the bright colors popping up. I don't want to. If the eye wall is replacing right here, it's tough to say if the new eye wall emerges somewhere, maybe 20 miles wide, possibly. It's really hard to say. Before it went through this. Let's see, before it kind of started trying to replace the eye, you could see it's relatively small right here, 10 miles, but it really tries to get bigger as we go forward. So appreciate you. Yeah. I mean, guys, this was our, I think it's important to share this since Sue said that I talk a lot and don't say anything. I want to show my friend Sue what our forecast was 4 days ago. So I think it's good to say, hey, we have been talking about this now since Saturday. And so for Sue, I think it's important to note that we have had this as a major hurricane since Saturday. Not to mention, we have also had the track very, very close. This was our 12:30 outlook on Saturday. We had it going into St. Pete, Tampa Bay. It has shifted southeast by about 30 miles, but a 4-day lead time with a major hurricane forming back on Saturday. I do believe that's actually a very, very good forecast, and it's giving people a a great lead time to just get out of the way, just to get out of the way. All right. Okay. Let's say the eye doesn't hit you and you thought it was going to. Um, Sorry. I'm glad that you at least got out of there so you didn't have to deal with it. But that was the forecast from 12:30 on Saturday. All right. This is the latest forecast. Again, still projecting a Category 4 hurricane at landfall, which we have been saying the last couple of days. Bradenton, Sarasota, Venice Beach, Northport, here and south is the area I'm really focused on in terms of that being the potential for landfall. The Hurricane Center is very, very similar to this. I'm going to take you down here and show you what they have. This is their latest forecast product for landfall. And you can kind of see their cone of uncertainty is very similar. They are just north of Sarasota, at least right now. So that's the current projection from the National Hurricane Center on where that's going to go. So I think Sue is on Facebook, Brian. So I'm going to take a couple more questions and I'm going to wrap this live up. And I'm going to give you kind of a schedule today of what we're going to do. My plan today is to watch a lot of this in terms of where this is going to go. And we will come back on with lives this evening. All right. Probably later this evening, 7, 8, 9 o'clock or so is when we'll start coming back with lives. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and say the next live update will be 8 p.m. I did post an update to the YouTube channel, an analysis on the storm, a detailed forecast analysis along with the long range forecast. I will put that in the comments so you guys can go and watch that, and make sure to subscribe to the channel as well, so you can get updated when we post these. I will post that comment, that link there, and put that there. So again, right now it's just, there's the forecast. You guys can go and watch it if you'd like. Brian, maybe throw that in X if you can. But right now, the thought process is, again, 1 a.m. tonight. So if we come back on 7, 8, 9 o'clock, that's going to be plenty of time out ahead of this to really get a good idea where it's going to make landfall at as a Category 4 hurricane. All right. Listen, I don't want anyone to take away from the fact that just because the eye's not coming to them, you're not going to get absolutely walloped with storm surge. All right. The storm surge is really, and the rainfall is just as critical and dangerous as the hurricane force winds. The winds are insult to injury. The rain, the 12 to 20 inch rainfall forecast in the Tampa Bay area and the storm surge at 8 to 12 feet is absolutely horrible. Okay. And by the way, you're still going to be getting Category 4 hurricane force winds in that area. You're just not getting the eye. It's still going to be worst case scenario. So preliminarily, we're going to plan for an 8 p.m. live. If we need to come back sooner, if things change rapidly or some big things are really shifting, we may come back sooner. Odds are when I come on tonight at 8, I'll probably be on for quite a while, probably several hours, just digesting this, forecasting this, and keeping you all posted. If you guys are interested in Nowcast products and you want information and you want to see our platform, you can go to what is called bamwx.com and you can check out our platform. I will show you what our platform looks like real quick. This is Clarity. This is our platform. This is where all of our information goes. I can show you like what it looks like when I go down into a location here and click on it for information. I get let's just go into Sarasota. I get hourly forecast information. Tells me all I need to know. It's very, very cool. I got daily forecast information out to 10 days. And then I've got information from meteorologists in here. I've got forecast insight information. It sends me updated forecast information, hand-drawn, handmade maps from actual human meteorologists. I've got current radar products where I can go and then look at future radar products. So I can loop this out and look at, okay, where's this going to go? What's it going to look like? Future radar times. I can look at future max wind gusts. All right. How about that? Okay. I can look at where those winds are going to go on clarity, future wind gusts. And then I can, there's a lot of really, really neat tools here that help you tell you that today's day one severe weather outlook. There's the tornado risk across Florida. It's elevated. So this is a neat platform. And at the end of the day, if I've got questions, I can go to the chat feature here and I can ask questions if you sign up for the right package. So bamwx.com, go check it out. If you guys are interested in the services that we offer professional level meteorological services to people to help make decisions for their businesses and things on a daily basis. And you can learn more by visiting bamwx.com. We'll see you back here this evening around 8 o'clock, earlier if needed. Thank you all for tuning in today. Share it with